outrageous thoughts in my head.
Okay, so we'll do some introductions. My name is Bridget Moore, and I am the proud owner of a Moore book. And can I have your name?
Ralph Wilkins, aka Brother Atif.
Okay. And just for everyone's knowledge, what is your date of birth?
October 12th, 1950.
Okay, so in this interview, we'll start off with just some general questions. Typical family life before we dive into anything, a few icebreakers, things of that nature, just to warm up, okay?
Sure, go ahead.
So, where did you grow up?
I grew up in a small town in Maryland in Prince George's County called by the name of Fairmount Heights.
Okay. And as a child, who did you look up to?
My father,
Why is that?
you had to know him. He was my father. Yeah, he was a special guy.
Okay. Now, was there any fond memory that sticks out to you right now in regards to you all's relationship growing up?
Just that he was always there. We had kind of a contentious relationship, really. He was a strict disciplinarian, and I always seemed to need discipline.
Okay. Okay. And how was your house structure, your family life?
It was my mother, my father, my mother's first cousin, and there was total of 9 children. My cousin made 10. Um, I was the fourth boy born to my family.
Okay.
Or the fourth child, anyway. First it was 4 boys, then it was a girl, then it was a boy, then it was 3 other girls.
Okay, so 9 children altogether.
Yeah,
So you're pretty much like kind of the middle child.
yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Who was your favorite sibling?
My brother Stuart,
Why is that?
because he took time to try to understand me. I was I stuttered really bad, and I was light skinned. I had long hair. My mother was 50. It was 50% full blooded Cherokee and Native American. And I got picked on a lot by the little dark skinned ones in the community.
Okay.
I think they thought I don't know what they thought. They picked on me a lot, and I didn't know how to fight growing up. My grandmother, my mother's mother, she was raised on a reservation. She taught me how to fight Indian style. That was, grabs. Hold on. And he couldn't run. So, and then I was kind of like, because of that way in the neighborhood, the community's all black.
Okay.
It's all black and all Republican. and it wasn't lower class; it was middle class.
Okay.
Because all the households had a mother and father. All the fathers worked, and nobody really wanted for nothing. We had all black stores, all black doctors, all black everything. I come from a completely all black environment, and for a light skin in an all black environment, that was like catching hell. Because in our race, in the black race, African American race, we have this prejudice against each other. The lights against the dark, the dark, the dark against the lights. That's why when I hear that thing about the Willie Lynch letter, I know it's got to be true. Because, I lived through it. Stuart told me stay away from girls and took me to a gym to teach me to box so I could fight. That was just his way of loving me, I guess, And but he was my go-to guy on stuff.
So you feel you face more racism in your own community versus from other cultures?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Okay.
Nobody wants to talk about that, about how dark-skinned blacks try to take advantage of light-skinned blacks, and light-skinned blacks think they're better than dark-skinned blacks. Because I was raised, I used to tell people in my neighborhood, I don't know why you talking to me. You know I'm white.
Right.
So I guess when they was kicking my ass because I brought it on myself, right?
Were you taught that? Did your mother or father teach you that because of your skin color, you're probably a little bit better than dark skinned people?
No, they would. My father would have knocked my head off if he would have heard me saying that.
Okay. So did you learn? How do you think you learned that?
I don't know. Probably on the street somewhere. I was an angry kid, angry about everything all the time, and don't know why. I'm trying to remember. I know. When I was 5, one of my neighbors tried to kill me, hit me in the head with a red brick right here. I was playing. Me and my next door neighbor, the junior boy, was playing. We were on top of one of his father's sheds. We had tied some rope. It was kind of country, right? We were sitting on there with the folks going like this, playing stagecoach, right? Um, um, and out of nowhere came this brick, whap, cracked me in the top of the head. And my father, he act like it was nothing, like paid it no mind, I went
Right.
like, I don't recall going to the doctor or nothing for that.
Right.
I recall him and my mother arguing about it, taking me to the doctor, but he won the argument, right?
Okay.
But it put a Band-Aid on and kept it going. He but by the time I was 5, he was taking a little control over my situation, right? Because
Okay.
he wanted to cut my hair and groom me into being a man and a boy and stuff like that. My mother, I don't know what I can't to this day I can't figure what her thinking was. Did she want a little girl? But she had girls already. But
Right.
when I was born, she didn't have any girls. So I guess
Okay.
I was the doll baby. I guess I don't know. I know she treated me special till my sisters came along. Then I was like everybody else.
Okay. So you felt that you had like favoritism in the house? compared to everyone else, your other siblings? And if so, were you treated different by the siblings in a negative way?
Well, my oldest brother, brothers that are older, they don't have time for the baby boy.
Mm-hmm.
And I came along at a time when the other 5 were younger than me, and I had to like look out for them. I
Okay.
was like to them. Whereas I didn't have the luxury of big brothers type, like that. I mean, they would look out for me. I wasn't ignored or nothing like that, but I wasn't special.
Okay.
Um, and they found out early that I was a pain in the ass knucklehead because I stuttered, I couldn't talk, and I always wanted to fight somebody at home or in the street. So I was problematic like that.
So that's where some of your anger could have stemmed from, being picked
Yeah,
on and things of that nature.
yeah, because I mean, they really, really picked on me bad. Not my family, but the people in the street.
Right.
I could run home and say so and so did something, and my brother Stuart would go and correct him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Champ was off doing his thing. That's my oldest brother, Clyde. He was off doing his thing, with his buddies and stuff. Stuart was he would kind of look out for me. Maurice, he looked out for Maurice, and I guess he looked out for everybody growing up. Everybody that was younger than him, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Maurice was real secretive. He didn't really need a lot of looking out for. And the younger ones, they had us older boys to look out for them. My sisters and my baby brother.
Mm-hmm.
So it was all good. I think it was a great childhood myself because
one I love, two she loves, three she's true to me.
my father worked 2 jobs. He was a hustler, not like a street hustler, but he was the kind of guy that would work 2 or 3 jobs and take care of family and you know he looked out. We always had big Christmases with a lot of toys and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
When my
What
mama
did your
would have,
mother do? I know I was asking what type of work did your mother do? It seemed like you were about to explain that anyway.
my mother, she had the most education in the family,
Okay.
right? And she was really, really, really sharp, really
Mm-hmm.
smart. And but she worked at home. Now,
Okay.
I've heard stories that when my mother and father first got together, and my mother used to drive a dump truck.
Okay.
And as a matter of fact, she drove a dump truck while she was pregnant with me.
Mm-hmm.
We lived in a place called Bladensburg, Maryland at the time, which was had some white folks in the community in Bladensburg, because Bladensburg was part of Prince George's County, but Fairmont Heights is the only place in Prince George's County I know that was all black, all 100% black. Businesses, the police, the judge, the doctor. We had our own judge, everything. It was a little community. In those days, it was tight knit. It was all right. But
Right.
my mama, she was an amazing cook, and she could take. She used to make biscuits, and all the guys in the neighborhood would want to come by. They play basketball in that backyard with my brother Stuart and them, and they would all be like waiting around for the biscuits to come out the oven.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. They loved her biscuits. I did too.
Right.
Um, they taste so good. The next day, I would make a big bowl of oatmeal
Mhm.
and crumble the biscuits up in it,
Right.
whip it together, and eat it like that. A little sugar, a little butter.
Right.
My sisters, they still talk about it. I used to sit and eat a whole bowl of oatmeal like that. Oh,
Right.
beans. Beans, I crumble biscuits up in beans and everything.
Mhm.
Still do when I feel like making biscuits,
So
I
let me
do
ask you this. What was your first friendship that you can remember?
it. Male or female?
Male.
I didn't have any male friends. I used to fight all the time, fight everybody.
Okay.
It was like when I meet somebody, in those days, young blacks they would prove themselves to each other. It was a funny neighborhood custom. We would fight, but it wouldn't be like big kid against a little kid. It would be like we would like be contemporaries, right?
Mhm.
And we would fight to see who was the toughest guy. After that, we would go our separate ways. I played football with them. I played baseball with them. Played tag with them. We would meet in the playground. We'd put on boxing gloves and box. The community events, right?
Mhm.
Just the children, right? And
Mhm.
but I made associates with them, but I never really made any friends with anybody. They wasn't trying to be friends with me, and I wasn't trying to be friends with them.
Okay.
Simple. Um, my first female encounter I was in the 7th grade.
Now, is
Yeah,
this your first girlfriend?
I thought she was.
Okay.
In those days, you would call and talk on the phone and talk on the phone, and then you would say, you wouldn't ask to be your girlfriend, so will you give me a chance, right?
Okay.
And she would say yes or no, right?
Okay.
Um, and if she said yeah, then you had a chance. But she lived in Glen Ard, and I lived in Family Heights. That was
Come
like
back a little bit on your camera. I can't see your eyes. Yeah, I want to see your eyes when you tell the story.
uh, Glen Ard and Family Heights were like 3 or 4 miles apart, and I was too young to travel that far in those days by myself, and I didn't have anybody to take me. But my father, he worked at a Safeway cutting meat. He drove a cab, and uh, a lot of little hustles going on, right? So we basically only met at school, and we would hang out. Her name was June Detweiler, and my first heartbreak too, real serious heartbreak, because we were talking, and I asked her would she give me a chance. She said, and she would told me call me stupid and said I gave you a chance. Don't give me a chance. Don't give me a chance. So no, it had calmed me down because I had been wild. But over that first summer, 1962, she was murdered by her uncle, murdered and
Hmm.
raped. Then he shot her in her stomach with a shotgun.
Hmm.
And his name was John Detweiler. Never forget it. And it broke my heart because I was a pretty solitary guy. Other girls wouldn't talk to me because I stuttered so bad. I had these light eyes. I could pull them in with my light eyes and my light skin and my big curly hair, right? I had
Right.
long hair, long curly hair, because my father cut it when I was 4 or 5 years old, but I let it grow back when I got middle school, elementary school. When I established a reputation for fighting, because a little black guy named John Gillum used to sit behind me and pull my hair all the time.
Hmm.
And I paid no mind until I was watching Leave It to Beaver or Little Rascals or one of those TV shows in those days, all white TV shows, and the little bully would pull a girl's pigtails.
Okay.
And when he was pulling my hair, I thought, he thinks I'm a girl. So I turned around and let him have it. Bang! John Gillum was black as a lump of coal. But he was real effeminate.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because I used to think I thought he was a little ugly girl, right?
Right.
In those days, if you was light skinned, you thought of everybody dark skinned as ugly.
Okay.
Really, for real. So, and one day I got tired of his mess. We were out in the schoolyard fighting like cats and dogs. This was the third grade. We were fighting, and third or fourth grade, something like that. And my brother Stuart and all his buddies came by, and Stuart seen I wanted to fight him, but he seen I really couldn't fight, not stand up, knock down, fight. So that's when he started teaching me to fight. That's when he took me to the gym, to number 3 boys club down on 3rd and K Northwest. And once a week I would go down there, and he would take me down there, and they would instruct me. And there was guys in the neighborhood. The Tillman boys had boxing gloves, Leroy and Larry, and we would go up into the playground, and everybody from the community would pull up, all the kids, all the boys and the girls, and we would box, right? And I would go out there and get my ass whipped every week, right? Every Saturday. Only because they had a sister named Deborah.
Okay.
Deborah Tillman lived up the street a little bit, up on K Street, and I had hots with Deborah. I liked Deborah, so I would go get my ass whipped. She would look at me and laugh. She'd say, "You so stupid." But I was real tough. I was a tough little guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm 6 feet now, but I didn't grow to 6 feet until I got shit. I was way in my teens. I was short. I was like 5'5", 5'4", and all of a sudden, boom! I shot up. In about the 7th grade, I shot straight up. You know, I got tall, but I never was skinny. I was always chunky. But my father was thick across the chest. So yeah.
So that was your first relationship.
Yeah.
What about Dolores Chapman?
I told you about her.
No, we've never had a conversation about her.
How do you know about Dolores Chapman?
It's my job.
Dolores Chapman is supposed to be my baby's mama, but we didn't have a relationship. This is a hookup. What can I say? I was in prison I've been in prison for 11 and a half years, and I was just getting out on a work release status. Okay, let me fill in some blanks here.
Okay.
When I was 21, I went to prison for murder, and I got natural life, and I was supposed to never get out of prison, but because I stuttered and I was emotionally unbalanced, so they say, and because I would fight everybody all the time. How you could be emotionally unbalanced? Because I wouldn't let guys fuck me in the ass. Excuse my language, right?
Right.
And when you're in prison, you're light skinned. You know, you got a target on your back, right?
Right.
And all them old homosexuals want to do is to mount a young guy's butt cheeks and do their thing, right?
Right.
So I was stabbing them and beating them with iron pipes, and fist fighting them too. But fist wasn't good enough because I felt like I had to make such an impression on everybody violently until nobody would ever look at me hard again. Because I was about tired of guys staring at me, you know. Because I wasn't going to stop taking showers. Because showers were community, big shit. They were like, they had shower stalls, but it was like 25 stalls here and 25 stalls there facing each other.
Okay.
And when you're in the shower, you and the guy would be facing each other, but there's a wall in between you. 6 foot or 5 foot and 5.5 foot wall, right? And I got tired of guys staring into my face. So when the guy stared at me, I would take out a knife and stab him in his forehead, stab him in the eye, you know. And after about 12 stabbings, the Baltimore guys, the jail was full of them, and they're predominantly homosexual, I think. What's wrong with them? There's something wrong with them. They got the message, right? So the psychologist said I had violent rages, and Clifton T. Perkins had said they did a psychiatric evaluation on me, said I had an IQ of 45 and I was functionally illiterate.
Did they send you, while you were there, did they send you to a mental institution?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm leading up to.
Oh, okay.
Clifton T. Perkins was a mental institution. They sent me to that, but that was pre-trial.
Oh, okay.
Pre-trial. But after, there was nothing stupid about me. I just couldn't verbally communicate without stuttering, right? And I didn't want to stutter. So, but a guy named Nick Bagley told me about a program at a place called Patuxent. Patuxent Institution. It was for like, it was first opened in 1955 for a thing that Maryland called defective delinquents. Okay.
One I love, two she loves, three she's true to me.
Off with talking about an incident that we hadn't discussed in detail, and I wanted to go straight in and just pick right up on that. You talked about molestation, and you said that didn't happen at the hand of a woman.
Yeah, I took a lot of shit off him. He's the only man ever beat me, and I just didn't fight back.
And this,
one of the Richardson boys said they think I hit the guy with a rock. Saw how those white people were really angry that I was out, and I wasn't fucking with them. I went on about my business.
and you are aware that you were listed as someone who escaped, not as someone. Okay, go ahead.
But I'm sure I carry myself in a way that says I ain't to be fucked with, right? But why I gotta be on guard like that all the time? That's boxed him up real nice. I didn't kick him and stomp him or nothing like that.
Hopefully, if God changes her heart, she will come back to you, and hopefully you all can mend your relationship, because ultimately that is the goal.
Where'd you get all that from? Because they had added shit to it. So that's the way she wants it. So I'm gonna let it be like that. I heard you went by my mama's house and you threatened my brother and you threatened my life. He said, well, that wasn't me. I said, well, I don't give a fuck. Because I'm soft-hearted, I did it like that. Left me stranded.